Hi everyone, Sarah here. If you don't know who I am, I make jewelry, home decor, and I do a little bit of illustration. And today I'm going to show you how I made these floral earrings. They look a little bit like daylilies, so I am going to call this collection Daylily Dreams. That's not cringy at all. Just kidding. Anyways, so I'm starting off with a very light base. It's got a little bit of green in it and some gray granite primo, just to give it a little bit of texture. And I've got this like darker blue, and I'm starting to make branches. The way I make branches is literally just cutting out long strips, and you'll see I just made a gradient between the darker blue and the lighter blue. This is going to be my base. I love it when I'm doing leaves to have a little gradient. I just find it gives the flowers so much dimension in the end, and you'll see why. I've got a ginkgo polymer clay cutter. You don't necessarily need this. You can also just make some like very squiggly blobs for petals. This just kind of saves time for me because there's a lot of layering that goes on here, and you'll see as we get into it. But yeah, the ginkgo cutter or any kind of like flower cutter does definitely help during this process. You'll see I am working on a silicone mat. I just got this from like a home store. It really helps. It's actually for baking, but it helps so like nothing sticks onto the table. And so you have a protective surface between the table when you're cutting, because I'm also using an X-Acto knife. I now have my darkest red that I'm going to use in this palette, and I'm putting it over the blue leaves. This is a big trust the process moment. I'm always usually putting the darkest colors first because I like when it looks dark to light. I find it just gives a more like 3D look and gives it more dimension. And yeah, I just keep going with this. I'm using a slightly lighter orange now over that red. It's kind of hard to tell the difference until I lay them beside each other, but you see there that I really enjoy having a lot of detail when it comes to the colors, and I'm currently making another gradient, so I'm mixing that darker red with that orange. So it's a very subtle gradient, but again, I love the detail. You'll see that I actually cut some of the leaves in halves or quarters because I'm starting to get particular on where I want certain colors. So if I feel like a section needs more red or needs like a lighter color, I will layer a small piece of it just to brighten up that section. You'll see that the orange is getting slightly lighter as we go, so it's not that darker red anymore. I'm getting lighter as I start layering, and again, I'm just cutting them in half. And I just start to make little flowers. I'll make some flowers like full and round, some will only be half, because I just am trying to figure out where exactly to lay these colors so it's evenly spread, but not too much, you know, like I gauge whether it needs to be lightened or not. So for example, I just mixed a little bit of white with that orange, and it's starting to lighten up the darker flowers, but the dark red and the blue still pops through, which is really nice. So now you'll see I'm lightening it even more. So I'm gonna get a really nice peach color from this orange, and it's really gonna brighten the flowers a little bit more. What's nice is this is creating a lot of cohesiveness because I'm actually using the same orange that I was using for the darker shades, but just adding white to it each time. So it's creating like a really, really nice gradient, and it's like soothing the eye because it's just so beautiful to look at something that like looks so cohesive. And I'm going to keep going with that. I'm going to add this lighter peach into little gaps that I feel like it's needed. I start to just go around and figure out what is missing, and to me this was some lighter peach, and also I'm about to add some lighter blue because it just didn't feel exactly right until I did that. So this stage is very much the small details that make the slab very, very beautiful. So here's that blue color I was talking about. It's actually almost lilac, I'd say. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm adding very small amounts of that throughout the palette. What I love about this stage of the slab is nothing has to be perfect. I'm really just adding things wherever I feel. This is where the creativity can really bloom because I'm figuring out what colors are needed spontaneously. Like none of this was planned, just figuring out what is needed to make this slab as beautiful as it can possibly be and make it feel amazing to me, because there's always a point where I feel like something is needed for it to be fully finished, and you'll see what I mean by that. So this is what I mean by I'll keep going until I feel like it's finished. It just didn't feel right to me, and I was like, you know what? It's missing a pop of something, and that would be this beautiful cobalt blue that I'm obsessed with right now. I've been adding this blue to a lot of my slabs just as little accents because I just feel like it makes it look so beautiful. It was already nice before, but the cobalt blue, all those like little accents, I feel like just perfects it. So I'm so happy I did this. You know what's coming next? I flattened it out. First I rolled it out, and then I passed it through my pasta machine, and now I'm going to go in and add texture. I've had a lot of questions about what this tool is that I'm using, and honestly I have no clue. I found it in my studio and just started using it. I have no clue what it's actually used for, but it's perfect for this texture on the slabs that I do. So to explain what I'm doing, I'm going to each individual petal, because right now it all just looks like blobs, but I'm going to go to each petal and kind of do some line work. I'm going to start carving each petal into its own series of lines, so it kind of would look like a contour line drawing. And this takes a long time. It's really a labor of love, but it's also so much fun and so therapeutic. If you're trying out this slab with me, this is a chance for you to just explore your own creativity. I don't really have any advice to say about the line work other than just do what you want, to be honest. Follow the petals. It always looks nice no matter what. This is a very fun technique, and it's something that I've been doing for a while. I would say it's like my specialty, especially with the florals, because I'm also an illustrator and I'm really into like very detailed line work. So yeah, I have nothing to say other than just like draw on that slab and do whatever feels right, because it'll look amazing no matter what. Here's what the finished slab looked like, and now I'm grabbing my cutters and cutting out the pieces. I'm making sure to get as much of the slab as possible because I did just spend so much time on it. So I'm putting the cutters and cutting it out as close as possible and trying to really Utilize the slab as much as I can. You'll see I'm cutting out little studs as well. And here is a very satisfying glance at me peeling the slab. Enjoy. So this is something I do every time I make any earrings. I'm actually smoothing down the edges. Only do this if you've left the pieces for a while so they're not too mushy when you pick them up. Now I'm cutting out each individual piece and kind of designing exactly what I want them to look like. And I'm going to attach the studs. I bake the studs into the clay with Sculpey Bake Adhesive. That makes sure they're really stuck. I baked it for an hour at 200 degrees, and that usually is perfect for me no matter what brand I'm using. And I'm getting my Dremel drill and just drilling each little hole that the jump ring's going to go through. I'm laying out my designs and just making sure everything is perfect so I can start assembling. So I just did some sanding. I just use a sanding block from Dollarama, nothing special. And now I'm laying out my designs. I just like to organize myself so I know exactly what studs are going where and what my designs are going to look like in the end. I'm using some small to medium sized jump rings. I don't have the exact measurements. I'm so sorry, but you can usually gauge how big you need them to be. You don't want them to be so big that there's a huge gap between the two pieces, but you want them to be big enough so the stud and the earring can hang nicely and dangle a little instead of being too tense. And here I am. I'm actually on my bed. This is where I take a lot of my pictures because the light is so good and I live in a very small apartment, but I'm just organizing everything and laying them out so I can take some pictures. And here they are. This is the what did I say? Daylily Dreams? I think Daylily Dreams Collection. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to show you some close-ups of some individual pieces. I love them because they're like a little painting that you can wear. I'm also going to show you how they look on as well. And honestly, I hope you like this video. If you try this out, please let me know. Send me some pictures. Please like and subscribe and tell me exactly what you think. Thank you for watching and enjoy me modeling these earrings. Okay, bye. Love you.